Hey everyone, felt like a long time. I hope everyone's doing well and having a blast this week. It's quite like cold down here, it's quite chill. I love this weather. I'm not sticking on my seat, especially since I'm working like 12 hours per day right now because of the overwhelming projects, but everything's quite manageable. Everything can be done quite easily if you planned everything ahead and if you're organized. Without further ado, let me explain what we're going to do this week. This week is just going to be chill, like we're just going to be sketching some SUVs, but it's going to also complement the Solarpunk World that we are building. I actually decided to just build it up, and as you can see here somewhere, that I will attach, you can see the workflow videos of our first Solarpunk go-kart design and pit stop workflows. This week we are going to start working from the vehicles and then start building up from like after this start building up the environments. I already stacked up some how can I say, like, elements for me to showcase, which will come up on the next week, I suppose. It's because like I still have to just sketch things out or organize them a little bit. Also, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Also, if you comment, that will really help us beat down the algorithm because the views are kind of getting low. I don't know why. So let's support each other. Let's learn together. Please let me know what you would like to see next, and let's continue. So in this video over here, which I have sped up 500%, I've been sketching vehicles which are going to be suitable for very rough terrains. Imagine like an SUV or a type of Bronco or you name it, like Humvee, Hummer, and I'm using like some very basic tools over here. It's like W0, W2, because I ran out of W0 and I actually cannot find my W0 anymore. It's W2 from Copic for the underlaying sketches, and then afterwards it's a Pentel brush and also a lot of fountain pen. I love fountain pen. One of here, like somewhere around here, I will also add the sketching video that I have done for Solarpunk Pit Stop in the previous weeks, which I went through some of our main tools of trades, which we have used for sketching out the ideas. I love this process because everything is like very freeing and you don't really have to think about much, just have to think about the fundamentals of it. I actually had like a bunch of more like sketches in the back, which you might be seeing like bleeding out on the other side of the page. I will also showcase them in the post later, but I'll mainly use these for our current vehicles. I wanted them to be heavy but also as stable as possible in the rough terrain, so it's quite like large in terms of the dry terrain, but also I didn't want them to be way too bulky, so I'm trying to find a sweet spot between Bronco, again I love Bronco's designs, and a sci-fi Solarpunk vehicle. These can look quite ordinary as a design right now. We will add some twists later to them after we find out some more inspiration. But as you can see, I'm playing around with the placement of the cockpit. Either it's closer to the back, to the rear axle, or the front axle, or in the middle, which actually gives us some variations of the silhouette. Also adding a guy over here just to show the scale, just to feel it a little bit. So we are right now on Photoshop. because I firsthand realized that the initial sketches that I have done and the inks were not really that well recognizable on Vizcom, and I just wanted to clarify some things. Then I just moved on and just took the photos of the selected sketches. I think I've selected 3 of them, and then I'll expand a bit more after this, and then started like drawing on them on Photoshop very quickly. I even like squished the resolution so that I wouldn't really, it wouldn't force me to think about the stupid amount of details or like some unnecessary stuff that to distract me. And it's like very rough, but still, since it has some good amount of like silhouettes of like the dark negative spaces and some line arts, it will be easier for Vizcom to recognize this, because I just didn't want to think about the volume while I was drawing this. I just wanted to think about the volume and the next step. I just wanted to think about the overall shape still and how it looks like in the line art. I also like the silhouette of this, so I just wanted to go with this design as well. I'm just copying and pasting the wheels. Imagine this like as if you're using 100mm lens, so everything is like pretty much squished, which makes it easier for me to play around with the silhouette and the overall design language, both side and the front view, or side or the back, depending on which angle that I select. On the next one. And this was a bit challenging because I didn't know how I can figure out what's going on up there, so I decided to just add some extension from the seat support in the back as it's like, or like the rack part. It's not really adhering the initial line art, initial sketches that I've done, but still, it's something that you can always go back, because these steps are the most like freeing parts and you shouldn't be concerned about the design details. I'm also adding those lines so that Vizcom can understand it as like a shade. It's either ones or zeros for me. It's either black or white. But also, like, I'll also use Vizcom to understand the underlying layer of the ink drawing as like a volume, so I'm not really concerned about it. Also, it can give me some opportunities to play around with happy accidents, to be honest. I also like this one's silhouette a lot. Like, it has like 2 parts like coming out as if it's a Star Wars ship. Eventually the design kind of changed. I will go through that in this video, but I think I will return to this. It's like a bunch of random lines still, but it's just there to make things look good. I wasn't really thinking about the functionality or the philosophy behind all the lines. I'm just screwing around and just finding out some cool stuff that we can draw from in the next steps. I'm kind of squishing the wheels a little bit over here. I thought that the direct discs were kind of like will be difficult for Vizcom to understand, and you will see that in the next step, of course. yeah, we're now moving on to Vizcom. Alright, we're on Vizcom now. It's kind of hard for me to explain what's going on there, but I can at least explain it to you guys. What is my intentions and why am I doing what I'm currently doing? The reason why I'm actually using Vizcom at this point is to get some volume into my designs. As you can see over here, like there's some underlying layer from the inks, which are in a lower opacity. Thanks to Photoshop, I just put them to low opacity and just merge them together and just slap them onto Vizcom so it can understand as like volume, so we can have a bunch of like happy accidents or stuff to play around with instead of like starting from zero. I think this is a very good starting point. So I just put them all together, and actually like Vizcom has very good like editing tools and like drawing tools right now, which are almost like as nice to use as Photoshop. So I'm doing all of these sketches right now in Vizcom, especially like the brush, for example. It really feels nice because it has pressure sensitivity right now, pressure support. So I thought it was quite suitable for me to just just use it without copying and pasting a lot of times from Photoshop like I used to do before. I finished the first design and I'm on the second one right now. It's quite the same process actually. I'm just cleaning it up a little bit just so it will understand it as like negative spaces. Also opening the canopy a little bit, adding some cut lines and shot lines as a detail, and bringing some of the stuff in back and forward in the generation process. Generating the first batch and the second design. Like you see, it actually gave me a good amount of volume there on the design. It has some good lines, and then I can just I drop some parts and start like shaping it a little bit. I'm bringing back some of the shot lines and cut lines in the design, trying to find out the actual lines which I can reference to in the other parts of the design so it can be consistent. I wanted the designs to be familiar still. Like there's an option for me to make things like top-notch sci-fi, like high sci-fi stuff, which it could like float around like a speeder, but I always found speeders like very detached from the environment. I don't know, like it's probably because the wheels have direct contact, and speeders basically just glide on the surface and they rarely can interact with the roughness of the surfaces. So I kind of thought that having wheels would still be a good choice for this, especially like whenever I design something, I always think about it, the game aspect. Imagine this is like Forza Horizon, for example, where you can just wander around in the terrain and like with your car, the car and the terrain and the environment and the music with you, and you just want to just feel it, you know. That's why I was thinking like having a glider wouldn't really make you feel that you're very immersed, although there are examples for good ones. Especially I think what was that Star Wars game? It came out from Ubisoft. Oh my god, I forgot. Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws, for example, had very good glider physics. Not glider, it's geez. However, whatever. It's like jeez, it's like motorcycle where you just go. Oh my god, I forgot the names. Anyways, so the vehicle physics in there were very tactile too. I really liked it. But I still think the wheels add more feeling into the concepts. So that was the actual reason why I still went for something that could be considered as old in that age or in that theme. What matters right now is how far we can push these designs to have some interesting elements. Right now they might look very normal, but eventually we will do some changes in the design, we will gather more references and do some alterations on them, on the body or on the drivetrain or on the wheels and stuff. See, this design has changed a lot on Vizcom. I'm not 100% happy about this, but I will keep it as this for now. That I might just come back to it again. It kind of lost the main reason why I actually chose it, but I still like the smooth body on it, maybe like very smooth surface, and I thought like I could go with that, but also open it up a little bit, because what I was thinking while I was designing these vehicles were them to have an open canopy, open cockpit, just so while you are experiencing the environment in a game, the player, the character who is in this vehicle would also experience it with you. Back to Photoshop. I was thinking about making one more version of this by using the designs that we have generated on Vizcom, because we already have the volume, we already have the vehicles themselves as polished as possible, that I could start experimenting with them a little bit, just to come up with some new lines or new design aspects, maybe, or maybe new silhouettes. So yeah, this was an extra idea generation process that I went through in there. I just wanted to just experiment with it a little bit and see how it actually might look like and what we can come up with. I merged the first one and the second one together because I really like the side view of the first one, but I also like the way that the second one's lines are converging in the front design. So I was thinking like maybe I can merge them together somehow and just come up with something different. See, I'm like bringing out some of the parts and bringing them back, like some design aspects, I'm bringing them back as well, just to have something like unique instead of having something that's looking like it's from this age. I'm adding some long range headlights as well, because it's kind of needed for the terrain, I think so. So they would be nice to have, but it's also somehow merged into the design. This one over here kind of starts looking like a very heavy machinery, especially the back kind of feels like it trucks load. On the hindsight, it's not my favorite, but still it was a worthy exploration, I think. I was thinking like maybe the designs would have some Solarpunk aesthetics, but also some drone attachments and stuff. This actually kind of fits that, but it's also looking way too heavy for my taste. So I will probably not go with this one, but with the initial designs. Back to Vizcom again, with the Photoshop sketches. I'm right now pushing them a little bit more to have a little bit more realistic lighting, a little bit more realistic lines, to have something more tactile in my hand, just as a reference, like things will become a little bit more clear to understand, so it will leave me less space to iterate or trying to figure out what's actually going on. I mean, of course it's AI, it's not really doing great. Those things are absolutely should be solved by your soul explorations or your research. So none of these stuff are cast in stone. None of the design language here, maybe the design language, but none of the details that the generative AI is coming up with are the best. So yeah, feel free to use some of them, feel free to just erase them. It's all up to you, it's all up to the designer. What I like about Vizcom is to have it gives you the space of being a designer, being the art director, instead of like compared to the other generative AI applications. So we got this one. I like the volume of the wheels because previously we didn't have that, I think. So I wanted to keep them, but also I like the how it translated the side view, for example, the lines in the body and stuff, the shoulder lines and stuff. I like the smooth aesthetics, but also still it has some exposed mechanical parts. I think it's something that we will keep in the end, because I want the design to emphasize as a part of the nature of something that needs to be used in the field, but also still looks aesthetically pleasing. We are right now in Gravity Sketch. I exported the 3D generation of one of the designs that I have that I actually like. In this walkthrough, in the next few minutes, it's all about me just taking care of one of the designs that I have picked. Like I said, I'm using the model that was generated by Vizcom. It was very rough. It accidentally had like 6 wheels. Which definitely not something that I designed, but yeah, I just cannot really question where it actually got this information while I was designing. Well, I pressed the generate button. But still, it's better than nothing, better than starting from zero. And yeah, welcome to my living room. I hope you won't find it too messy. And this is a very sped up process. It's 750% like sped up. I'm just covering the overall mesh and mass a little bit, maybe do some changes into the already generated volume. I think it still makes my life very easy. It's still better than just starting off with one image that was generated. So it's like, yeah, it's actually gives me very decent base. What I have to do right now is just go back one step backwards and see how the shape actually can feel better. That's why I'm currently using the, I think it was metallic surface in Gravity Sketch that actually gives me some information about how the surface actually feels like, especially on a vehicle. I'm playing around with some edge creases or like ins and outs of the surface a little bit, just to get something a bit interesting. I'm playing around with panels a little bit over here. I'm currently detaching the cockpit because it will have two pieces in the body, the back part and the whole body itself. So I will put the seats and stuff just in front of this backside. Like Gravity Sketch is also getting a lot of updates recently, and it's just making my process a lot faster than before. Especially like I wasn't really paying attention to the separation tool, for example. It made my life way easier right now while I'm separating the meshes. So it's all about this, having this holistic approach on the design. It's considering the volume and how the shape overall can feel like. Then afterwards you start breaking it apart, trying out different materials or trying out different shapes and different separated parts to have this interesting feeling in it, or like some statement maybe. It all depends. It's also all up to you and the quest that you are after. I was checking it from top and it looked very thin in the back. I didn't like the silhouette that much on the top, so I'm just squishing it a little bit from necessary parts, and then just applying materials and see how they interact with each other, and like in general as a general shape. This process, by the way, I'm not going to take it far too long in this video. In the next one I'll probably jump back into it in Blender and do like a lot more stuff onto it. I don't think I will be doing a lot more stuff into this for now, like even in Blender. I think I'll just push it a little bit more and then just use this block mesh for the environments that I'm going to design later, just to have like a vehicle there, because go-kart wasn't really fitting in the nature environments that I'm currently designing. I'm using edge crease, but I don't know if anyone's following me from Gravity Sketch over here somehow. If they have seen this video, please add some beveling there, because like it's way too like sharp. It's like MacBook sharp, you know, like bevels. MacBook has Macs and Apple actually has this like very thin, almost knife-like precision in their bevelings, which you barely can find in any other product. I love that a lot, but still it makes designs look like a toy when you do it in 3D. I'm adding some tires, like wheels over here, just as a placeholder. I also don't know how I can just mirror them without just making them fall apart, so I'm just putting them together just to have something there, just to have a feeling of it. I'm turning them, it just doesn't turn sometimes, but it's fine. While I'm turning, actually I was thinking like, maybe it can have like both axes can actually turn, you know, the back and the front, so it can have a lot more traction. So yeah, there's something in my mind right now that I will probably think in coming videos or like coming design process. I'm also separating the rear axle over here, because it has to be separate for the maintenance purposes and stuff. Also, it might have some like cargo rack and stuff there. The backside is going to have like probably a drone or something, can just come out and just open up, and it can just do like a recon or like do some assistance on the driver. I didn't really like the shape that much, so especially on where it actually starts, so I'm kind of like leaving that a little bit. I'm also adding these roll cages because I just want it to still resemble a bit of this rough terrain that's going to be operated in. So yeah, in some parts, like small nuances should be there to remind us that this vehicle is built for that case. As you can see over here, it's like a very quick turnaround or around the vehicle that I have after this demo. Yeah, it has both mechanical parts. It's not really that visible over here, but it also still has this like sleek design. I'm going to add more detail on in the next few videos. So that was about it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the workflow of it. As you probably have seen that before as well, there's always a lot of back and forth between the softwares because they all have their own different strengths and different values that they can add into our designs. That's why we keep going back between like Photoshop, Vizcom, Gravity Sketch, Blender, Vizcom, Photoshop, Gravity Sketch, because we just want to get the best out of our ideas. We just want to express them as best as possible, and that's why we are here right now. Yeah, like I said, I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below, hit the bell, or just let me know what you think and what would you like to see in the next video. I think we will be fleshing out the vehicle, but as you have seen before as well, I have done like one day build on YouTube. Maybe you would like to see something like that. We can make more videos per week. So just let me know if you would like to see it. And yeah, I will see you all next time. I will see you all next week then. Have a great one. Have a great weekend. Have a bright, sunny, but not too hot summer. So yeah, I will see you all next time before you melt. Ciao, ciao.